Hi guys, welcome back to CJ's Keto Kitchen. If you are looking to eat yourself healthy one meal at a time, then you've come to the right channel. Tonight we are going to be making a classic, and it is going to be chocolate peanut butter mug cake. So come along with me and let's get started. So this is actually a throwback video from when our channel first began. This goes all the way back to 2017 and was one of the first videos that we made here at CJ's Keto Kitchen. But I thought that it could use a spring renewal, and I have changed a few things. So let's go ahead and jump into the recipe. So I have greased a ramekin here. I'm going to be doing my cake in a ramekin. You can of course use a mug. I would suggest something about 12 ounces because the cake is going to rise up a little bit in the microwave, and you want to prevent any kind of overflow. You also want to make sure that the vessel that you use is microwave safe. The first thing that I need is 2 tablespoons of butter, and I need it to be melted. So I'm going to pop my 2 tablespoons of butter in the microwave for just a few seconds to melt it. So the next ingredient that I'm going to be putting into the melted butter is 2 tablespoons of monk fruit erythritol, and mine happens to be granular. And I'm just going to start incorporating that in. I like to add my vanilla extract at this point, so I am going to be putting in about a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Because this is a chocolate mug cake, I'm going to be using cocoa powder, and I have 2 tablespoons of 100% cocoa powder. The next ingredient is 2 tablespoons of almond flour. I am stirring very well after each ingredient to make sure everything gets thoroughly combined. Next, we are going to add a little bit of leavening in the form of baking powder, and I want about 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder. Next, I am going to be adding 2 tablespoons of half and half. You could use heavy cream if you want, but I do like the viscosity, the liquidness of half and half. If you don't have half and half, you could use almond milk. For those of you not living in the United States, half and half is half milk and half heavy cream. Next, I'm going to be using 1 egg yolk. In my mug cakes, I have found that I prefer the texture and consistency of my mug cake when I use the yolk only. So that is what I'm going to be doing here. And you want to stir this until you don't see any of the egg streak left. This is definitely starting to resemble a very yummy chocolate cake batter, and that's what we are going for. So the last thing that we are going to put into this before we put it in our microwave is a little bit of nuts. So I have some chopped roasted peanuts here, and I'm going to put in about half of them. And it is going to give a nutty texture to our cake and incorporate the theme of this being chocolate peanut butter. So it ends up being about 1 tablespoon of chopped, dry roasted peanuts. Before I pop this into my ramekin, I am going to put just a little bit of salt in my cake. I find that in baking, it really makes a huge difference in sweet dishes if you add a bit of salt. I'm going to put about 1/2 teaspoon. So into my greased ramekin, I'm pouring my batter. Now I have an 1100 watt microwave, so I'm going to start my ramekin at about a minute and go from there. And I will do it in 5-second intervals until it's just barely set. You don't want to overcook your mug cakes because then they have a tendency to dry out. So I'm going to check on it. Be careful because your mug or ramekin will be very, very hot. And it is just perfect at about a minute. You can see that it sprung back a bit when I touched it. And that's just right because we want to keep the integrity of the mug cake to where it's just barely set. Let this sit here for just a moment and cool while we do our next step. So because this is a chocolate peanut butter mug cake, besides the peanuts in the batter, I'm going to put a little bit of natural peanut butter warm over the top of our mug cake. So I have a tablespoon of natural creamy peanut butter here, and I'm going to put it into my microwave for just a couple of seconds until it smooths out and gets a little bit warm and pourable. So you can see that our peanut butter got a nice melty consistency, and I'm just stirring it up a bit. If you don't care for peanuts or you happen to be allergic, you could of course omit this step and just do the chocolate mug cake and use of course coconut flour. So I have let my chocolate cake cool a little bit, and just an FYI, this is a very soft cake, so I would suggest leaving it in whatever vessel that you cooked it in. I have taken my softened peanut butter and just put it in a little baggie because I'm going to drizzle it over the top. Just like so. And then for a final flourish, I have a few of my leftover dry roasted peanuts that I chopped, and I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit on top. So there she is. There is our chocolate peanut butter mug cake. Okay, give us a taste.
It's good. Really good. Really got a cake texture. It's moist, creamy, good chocolate flavor too, and the peanut butter is a nice touch. And the crushed up peanuts is really good too.
Good.
So good job, baby. This is a nice upgrade from the old one we made years ago.
Excellent.
Bye.
Bye.